Welcome back, guys. So, I lied. We're not doing the top 5 running backs this week.
Royce always lies.
Not true. We're going into the first episode, or first segment of our free agency predictions of the top quarterbacks in the league. So, next week we're going to do the top 5 running backs. And then, after that, we'll do our predictions on free agent running backs, and that'll be a common thing. We're going to do it by position. So let me just start with this. Kirk Cousins is the top available free agent quarterback right now. The Redskins traded for Alex Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs this year. He's going to be their starting quarterback. Now, from what I'm hearing some other stories that the Redskins may try to tag Cousins just to make him trade bait so that they can get something out of it, which I don't think would be the best case scenario, because then you're making another team, because then you're going to get stuck with him on the tag, because I don't think another team wants to pay the $27 million it would be for him for 1 year. So that's the problem with the tag, but he's not going back to the Redskins. He's going to be a free agent this year, in my opinion. Where do you think he goes? Like, what team signs him?
The Jags.
Oh, you think the Jags?
Nah, probably not, but that would be kind of cool. They'd be really good if they had Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So, like, what team do you think he gets signed by come March?
I don't really know, man.
Okay, I got my pick. I think he gets signed by the Denver Broncos. And
actually, you know what? Denver does make sense. That's a good one.
The quarterbacks in Denver are Simeon, Lynch, and Osweiler.
Yeah.
You don't have the star quarterback you had when Manning was there.
No.
Now, Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't say is a Manning-type quarterback, but he's better than Simeon, Lynch, and Osweiler combined.
He can get you into the playoffs.
And that's what I'm saying. With that defense that they have and the offensive pieces, Kirk Cousins could be a very valuable pickup for a couple teams, and I'll name them. I'm picking Denver Broncos to sign him, but I would say teams like Jacksonville could go pick him up. Minnesota could make a run at him. Any team, I think Buffalo would be another intriguing possibility because they are so late in the draft order. They probably won't get a top-tier guy in the draft, so they will probably go sign a free agent guy. But I'm picking Denver for Kirk Cousins' destination.
I would say that's probably a pretty good one, to be honest with you. I think that's actually I like that one. I would have to agree.
So the next quarterback we have up is Case Keenum. He played very well for the Vikings this year as a backup quarterback. Sam Bradford got hurt. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't healthy enough to come back yet after destroying his knee in 2016 offseason. If I'm going to pick anywhere for Keenum, it would be probably back to Minnesota. And that's just the safe pick. But if I had to pick him going to another team, I think Jacksonville may put a flyer out on him and be like, hey, maybe you just get out in contact with him and it's like, hey, we want to see what you can do with our guys here. Bortles is going to be here for another year, but we want to see what you're capable of. But I don't really see Keenum leaving Minnesota unless they want to bring back Bridgewater more. But I don't know where you stand on Case Keenum, where he could possibly sign as a possible quarterback option.
Case Keenum. I don't really have one, to be honest with you. It's kind of hard to know, though.
Yeah.
It always, especially right now.
Here's the thing with free agency. There's always,
you know what? The Bills.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, but there's always one team that'll come out and say, we'll sign you to so-and-so money, right? Or some odd amount of money. I mean, look at last year. Mike Glennon was the top-tier free agent quarterback last year, and he gets signed to this huge deal with the Bears and plays all of 2 games to get benched by the quarterback they drafted 2 overall. So with Case Keenum, I would expect him to go back to Minnesota, but I wouldn't blame him going to another team Which brings us to our next quarterback, which I'm pretty sure both of us have the same opinion. That's Drew Brees.
Yeah, I cannot see him going anywhere but the Saints.
I don't either, but I'm going to spark a discussion.
All right, let's hear it.
Imagine these two teams, if the Saints don't get a deal with Drew Brees done, and Kirk Cousins is still out in the market. And these two teams are bidding for both of them. And the Cardinals, who don't have a quarterback, go out and sign Drew Brees.
Not a legit quarterback.
Not a legit quarterback. But what if the Cardinals go out and sign Drew Brees?
I don't think you would do that, though.
I don't think they would either, but I'm saying, would you try to go get a guy? Would you go... I think, if you look at Arizona, they're probably going to go get Cousins if they want to go sign a guy. With that defense that they have, with Larry Fitzgerald playing his last year, I would expect Denver, if New Orleans doesn't get anything done, to make a run at Brees. But the problem I have, I don't think Brees is leaving New Orleans. He's not going to leave that for anything. But Denver has the defense that I think could lure Drew Brees out of New Orleans if there isn't any urgency on a deal being done in New Orleans. I don't know what your thought was on that.
I just don't think Drew Brees is going to leave.
I don't think so either,
I can't see it happening.
But I'm just saying, if, hypothetically, let's say he's out on the market during the illegal tampering period, which is 2 days before the new league year starts, and teams can go talk to other players. Does Brees leave New Orleans for a team that is probably closer to a Super Bowl window in the Broncos, who are a quarterback away from contending? And, I mean, it's possible, but you can look.
I just don't see it happening. He's so settled in there. He is so loved.
Yeah.
By the city, and I think he loves the city back. I don't think it's happening.
I don't think so either, but I'm just saying, if it were to occur.
And the Saints, hold on, the Saints were like
a top team this year, but
a play away from like
championship game.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, if the Saints aren't urgent enough on this deal, and other teams are reaching out to get a all-pro, Hall of Fame worthy quarterback, despite how old he is,
yeah,
why not? Next up, we have a guy who recently hit the market because he won his grievance case, and that's A.J. McCarron. He is going to be a free agent this spring, and in my opinion, there are two teams that can sign him, and two teams that will want to. Buffalo would be interested, but I think he doesn't. I think he goes to Cleveland, and he goes to Cleveland because of Hugh Jackson's the head coach there, was the offensive coordinator of the Bengals. A.J. McCarron.
Yeah.
And you think about this. What would it do to the draft order if McCarron got signed by the Browns? Would the Browns draft a quarterback at 1? That would be the most Browns move to do. Sign a quarterback.
You know what, though? Knowing their luck, because they've signed good players before, first off, A.J. McCarron is a good backup.
He's a good backup. I know I'm saying that, but
he ain't going to win you. He's not going to really... He's not really going to help you out that much. I think the Browns need like a GOAT quarterback in order to actually get them to be good. That franchise is hopeless.
Oh, it's bad. But that's what I'm saying. Hugh Jackson really likes A.J. McCarron. He's worked with him in Cincinnati. He was the offensive coordinator there in 2015 when they went to the playoffs for the last year. And in my opinion, you can look at A.J. McCarron all you want as a quarterback that never really got an opportunity in Cincinnati, but with Hugh Jackson in Cleveland, he will be the starter. Hugh Jackson really likes him. I don't think they draft... I think this is the signing you have to watch in the offseason. Because he's the most likely person to go to the Browns. And the Browns may pay him a lot of money to come over, because they have the cap to do it. And if they sign him, they're not drafting a quarterback. They're drafting Barkley at 1. Or even like a defensive player at 1. They're not drafting a quarterback. Or they're maybe trading back. So the A.J. McCarron signing with the Browns impacts the draft and everything else massively going forward. And we have some time here to talk about it. Mainly with all the quarterback needy teams and the draft and what we got going there. Let's just talk about some of the prospects coming out. We got Sam Darnold coming out. We got Josh Rosen. We have Baker Mayfield. Those are the top 3 that we'll talk about. Of course, you have Lamar Jackson. You have Mason Rudolph, Josh Allen. All those guys coming out. That's to name a few. But let's start with Sam Darnold, who everyone's putting at number 1 from what I've seen.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Let me remind you this. I'm not a super college football fan. Like I'm not like a.
I'm not either personally, but I'm not a college football fan either. But I'm going based off of what the scouts are seeing. The guy fumbles the ball too often.
Yeah,
and he's a risk, in my opinion. I think him and Rosen both are risks. The best quarterback coming out of the draft this year, in my opinion, is Josh Allen. And I would think he would be a guy you go out and get, whether you're the Browns, the Jets, the Bills, maybe you can trade up to do it. I personally think the Arizona Cardinals trade up to get the number 1 pick from the Browns, especially if the Browns sign McCarron.
Yeah.
And the Browns have the 4 pick, too. So you have those 2 picks, you can get a lot of picks for. And I think the Cardinals are going to be desperate to trade up to 1 to grab Mayfield. Personally, that's where I'm going to go with that. I think Baker Mayfield will go 1 overall to the Cardinals. And then you're looking at who else is going to be drafted elsewhere. The Giants, I don't think draft a quarterback. The Giants, if I'm a Giants fan like you are, I would hope the Browns or whoever picks ahead of me picks a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I want Barkley. If I don't get Barkley at 2, I'm trading that pick back. I'm trading back immediately and getting what I can. Because getting a running game for that team is of massive importance. So, again, it's just going to be one of those things where luck, because it's the draft, luck always occurs.
What about what's his name? Quarterback from UCLA.
Rosen.
Yeah,
I said Rosen, to me, there are a lot of flaws in his game too, and it's more or less his game. It's more of the fact that from scouts you hear that he's the most ignorant of the quarterback class and arrogant as well.
You know, I used to watch Josh Rosen in high school. He went to a school called St. John Bosco, and I used to watch them all the time on TV. Yeah. And he was a boss back then, and he is very good now.
No, I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm saying these quarterbacks to me they haven't impressed me.
Baker Mayfield.
Mayfield's impressed me, but
he's kind of a jackass though.
Yeah,
I try not to use explicit language, but yeah.
And I agree. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, you know what, whatever, not a problem. It's just, hey, we'll figure out where we go from there. But I'm not impressed with a lot of these quarterbacks. And I know people are saying the Bengals should go draft another quarterback, and I'm against that because I think there are other needs that we need to take care of. I think Dalton's a good enough quarterback, but you can't ask him to do everything when he doesn't have any.
Well, when he's surrounded by a team, he can get them to the playoffs. Yeah, they just can't win a playoff game
with the tools he has. So
no,
if they have a better O-line, and I'm going to say a better defense. Because this defense has massive holes in it. Everything will work out. But that'll be it for this segment. Stay tuned for our last part of the day where we're going to go over basically some of the news that's coming out of the league right now and just a recap of the week. Stay tuned.